A kid is like, look at this amazing scribble I did. Isn't it the best thing ever? And you're looking at this thing going, yeah, it's great. You don't know what it is, right? And somewhere along the line, we lose that. So I've been looking at what if we actually could embrace that inner child of us that's like, everything I do is, phenomenal and amazing. And what would that contribute to my journey of the self-discovery that I'm on?
Hey, friends, I'm so excited to welcome you to our podcast this week, Unapologetically Authentic. These are conversations that just open up the door to whole new ways of truly living a life from the inside out that works for you. And I'm so excited to introduce you to our next amazing guest, Miss Betsy McLoughlin. She has been in and around my world in so many ways. She's the creator of Creating Yumminess. She has facilitated people all over the world with tools of presence and consciousness and really leaning into choice. And you have some magic you are creating in your world right now about brilliance and acknowledgement, and just on this track of launching your life in a whole new way. So I'm so glad you are here and with Teddy. Hello, Miss.
Thank you for having us.
So what is that? Like, those things about being our brilliance and making choices that create a legacy life. I know you've been on this journey and really exploring those energies of being your brilliance, and have come up with brilliant, beautiful moments, and then have come face to face with moments that are pivoting, like life pivoting presence of whatever those are.
Yeah.
And so curious about those things. Like, where are you at on your Be Your Brilliance journey? What is that for you? And then this legacy conversation we can come around to and see where that leads us.
Where am I in my Be Your Brilliance journey? I'm probably halfway there, like through the journey of really getting the brilliance of me. And I was looking at this of the acknowledgement piece of where it's so uncomfortable to acknowledge. And, it's actually asking myself to write down, like, what could you acknowledge about yourself? And it was like, if you asked me what I could acknowledge about you or anybody else that I know, I'd be like, like I could give you 100 things. When it comes to turning that camera around to myself, I get like, eh, eh, eh. So I was really looking at what points of views do I have in place where that is uncomfortable and not something that is a muscle that I've done a lot with. And wondering, like, in that, like, because I actually do know I'm brilliant in many, many ways. And yet the reluctance to talk about it, the reluctance to acknowledge it is where I'm at right now with the journey of like, well, what would it be like if I lowered like all of my resistance to it and actually be like, yeah, like a kid, right? A kid is like, look at this amazing scribble I did. Isn't it the best thing ever? And you're looking at this thing going, yeah, it's great. You don't know what it is, right? And somewhere along the line, we lose that. So I've been looking at what if we actually could embrace that inner child of us that's like, everything I do is, phenomenal and amazing. And what would that contribute to my journey of the self-discovery that I'm on? I guess I probably will continue being on for the rest of my life. I don't see that there's an end to it. I feel like it's a continual evolution of self.
Absolutely. There's an interesting thing in there about embracing ourselves. And
Mhm.
one of the challenges I think a lot of people have is, how do I acknowledge all of me?
Yeah.
Because we don't want to embrace the parts that we don't like about ourselves.
Mhm.
And yet, what if those parts we don't like about ourselves is actually part of our brilliance? And
Yeah.
that, like, it's like, oh, I can't be brilliant until
Mhm.
I stop judging the size of my legs, or
Yeah.
I am brilliant, but I'm not brilliant enough because I haven't gotten these other things done off my list. Like, we
So
make
true.
brilliance
Yes.
conditional rather
Yes.
than, I'm alive on this planet and I'm choosing to be here.
Mm.
And that's a brave and bold and brilliant choice.
So true.
And, you and I have talked about this before about, to make a diamond, we have to be under, like, a diamond requires so much pressure per square inch to create the brilliance of a diamond. And so, what are those things that, there's just an interesting thing there. If we think about embracing all of us, all
Mhm.
of that which we are, how do we do that? How do we go through, what tools are you using as you come to these points of
Mhm.
great pressure, great tension, great, like, like crunch or resistance? And it could be we're resisting our awesomeness, but it also could be like, this is really hard. Like, I got some serious stuff going on here. Life,
Yeah.
I want to tap out right now.
Yeah.
Um, what works for you in those moments of
Mm.
just embracing all of you, including those parts that are feeling not brilliant?
Yeah. Great question. Um, that when those moments show up, it's reminding myself to be kind to me, like the kindness to self, because I have seen what the unkindness to myself does. And it just digs that hole deeper and deeper and deeper. And then I'm just piling on the crap. So in those moments, it's like, all right, what can I do? What can I be for myself? What kindness can I be? What is, like, what's required here? Do I need to talk to somebody? Do I need to go for a walk? Do I need to watch a funny movie? Like, whatever it might be, where it also gets me out of that place of the unkindness and the judgmental, mean person that I have been in my past. And like, I also will ask, am I defaulting to past behaviors here? Like, what am I doing here? Is this creating what you want to create? Like, oh, yeah. And usually the question is no. Like, okay, then let's choose something different here, Bets, because that's not fun. You know that road. You have traveled that road. You have worn out shoes from that road. Let's do something over here and let's see what that might create.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that all of those things you're talking about is really, as I hear you saying them, it's tools of presence.
Mm-hmm.
to not jump out of what this is,
Yeah.
but to give this moment some space so that I also have space
Yeah.
to then not go into my default, to not
Yeah.
go to what is easy. And what is easy might be to be a complete opposite of that which you desire, because that's the track, or that's the easy line to jump into, because
Mm-hmm.
we've always done that. And
Mm-hmm.
that embracing the fullness of ourselves, to not judge that which is coming up, but to give it space with these questions,
Yeah.
then we have like, what if we have all the time in the world to actually breathe into this moment?
Mm-hmm.
But when we get uncomfortable, we want to change it right away because uncomfort is bad,
Yeah. Yeah.
rather than asking those questions to just be present with that is
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah. Well, and
what.
as you said that too, what popped for me, I've come through another uncomfortable track in my life, and was that actually what was required for me to now be in the place where I'm at? And it's like, oh yeah, actually it was. And if I hadn't been willing to stay in that uncomfortable place and ask the questions of like, oh, okay, what is going on here? And what have I created? And what would I like to change from all of it? The willingness to dive into that is what changed it for me. And if I had been unwilling, I'd still be stuck.
Yeah, just get the visual of traffic. Like
Yeah.
you're driving on 6 lanes going north from LA to San Fran, and 800 cars on the road,
Yeah.
and it's uncomfortable, and all you want to do is not be on that road.
Yeah.
And that might be the road that's going to get you where you want to go.
True story.
How to be on that road without
Yeah.
tapping out of yourself, like
Mm-hmm.
without dissociating or
Yep.
avoiding or resisting, or concluding everything you think this might be just because it feels like something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Truly. Mm-hmm.
So, question for you: who or what are your resources that help you to stay present with the uncomfort, like the discomfort? The reason I'm asking about that is, when I'm at home by myself, having a sensory experience and in my head and getting challenged by my own thoughts, or life doesn't go the way I want and I'm crunching myself, or there's people in our relationships that start to crunch us up. There's something for me about, there's inner resources that I have, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes those are comes back to this acknowledgement piece you're talking about. If someone else can see my capacities that I can't see when I'm drowning in my goo,
Yeah.
who or what are your resources? Like, who are your allies? Who do you go to when you're trying to give space and ask questions? Like, how do you also nourish yourself on the pathway, and who do you go to? Who's your resource?
Wow. Um, Gosh, you know what? A lot of it's me.
A deep well, a really
Yeah.
deep. Mhm.
A lot of it is me. And I'm fortunate that I have discovered tools and questions that work for me, that I can dive in. Sometimes it's reading a poem. Other times, it might be picking up a book, calling a friend. Um, so it's a lot of different resources. So if I require something beyond myself, I feel very fortunate that I do know a lot of people that I can be like, yeah, can ya contribute, please? I'm in a weird place. I'm not getting this, or whatever it is. And so with that, I do feel very fortunate. I know a lot of brilliant people. And even that, like we talked about the acknowledgement piece a little earlier, like acknowledging that, like, oh my gosh, look at all these amazing, brilliant people that I have created in my life that I can pick up the phone or send a text, an email, say, I hate everybody right now, or, whatever it is. Like, I know this isn't true, but this is where I am at the moment, and having that is, like having a tribe of people that I know have my back and um have gone through similar, or and even if they haven't, they don't judge.
Mhm.
And that's another piece of like, who can I talk to that is that place of just giving me the space or the place to listen. And I might be like, I just need to vent. I don't even want facilitation right now. I just need to vent. Okay. And I'm that for other people as well. Like, and then just let me know if you want me to ask questions or if you just need somebody to listen. Sometimes that's all. And then you can even hear yourself and be like, yeah, I know this is really ridiculous and this is just where I am right now, So it's having knowing who that is in your world, like who is that for you?
Mhm. There's so much here. I mean, I can hear people listening to this going, well, that's great for you,
Yeah.
ladies. I don't have that. Or the people that should be my, allies or resources or,
Mhm.
sounding board are actually part of the thing I'm trying to step out of.
Mm.
And when you talked about I am my own inner resource, that, wow, like I'm willing to actually ask the questions and be with
Yeah.
me and know that I've got my own back and give
Mhm.
myself the space and time to move through this.
Yeah.
That I think is key because so much of being our brilliance, we think it's out here. It's like, oh, well, who am I to know this? I don't know this. I'm going to go call so and so. She's going to know what I need.
Mhm.
They're going to know. Or I'm going to go, hey, do you think I should do this or I should do this? Like, we want someone else to give us the answer
Yes.
rather than give ourselves the space to go, what do I really know here?
Yeah.
And that coming back to that piece of, embracing that which is for you, not running from it, which is also, I'm not going to react and go, oh, my go-to might be, I always call Sheila. And then Sheila always tells me I'm right. And then I'm right. Like we can, then
Yeah.
those aren't really allies in that sense of
Yeah.
having non-judgmental space. Like some of the people we go to might actually be encouraging our
Yes.
spin, our validation of telling someone else they're wrong or whatever that is.
Yes.
So the more we can, as I'm hearing you, the more we can really be present to that which is in ourselves
Mhm.
and not run from it, then I can actually intentionally make a choice to say, oh, I need to build that for myself. I don't have those people. I'm going to now create those people. Or, oh, that's not my person. That's going to be my person. Like I'm going to talk to them, but not to rush in that action, but make it from a place of presence with yourself. So in this whole
Um,
journey of be your brilliance, what
mhm.
excites you the most right now?
Oh my gosh. So much is like, phew, when you ask that question, it's like, ooh, the whole universe opening up in front of me. Um,
That sounds yummy.
yeah. What excites me? the more I allow myself to be me and not hiding pieces that I have decided I should hide or whatever, like the more that I am willing to be that, I see that that actually is the invitation for that universe opening up to, I'm sure there's possibilities I don't even know about yet. And the willingness to be like, hey, talking about things that before I wouldn't even talk about, it'd just be like, oh, either think I've already decided nobody wants to hear about it, or I can't talk about it because, and then fill in the blanks of all the reasons why. And as I have stopped doing that way more, it's exciting to not feel like I have to filter myself. Yeah.
That sounds yummy. Not to filter myself.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really nice. And
Hmm.
that actually, um, I'm just getting the sense of like the shades of our brilliance
Mm.
and how the shades of our brilliance are dependent on
Yeah.
the filters that we're using.
So true. So true. And then it's like, wait, what shade did I use yesterday? And can I do more today, or I have to be less? Or, it's almost like an analogy of I've had conversations with people about lies, and they're like, yeah, then I have to remember what lie did I tell so and so. It's like kind of the same thing. Wait, which filter did I use with this person? And can I have a different filter? And it's like when you just stop all the filters and you allow yourself to be, with everything you've decided is awful and wrong and ugly and whatever it is you've decided about yourself, and then if you just let all that go, it actually invites people to know you in a very different way than just the pieces you've allowed them to see.
Yeah, I'm going to say that again. So when you're not living in the shades or the filters of your brilliance, then you allow others to really get to know you, not just those parts that you let them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then it comes back to that part you're talking about is really knowing myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that it sounds like this journey of be your brilliance is bringing
Mm.
you into a deeper place of awareness and consciousness about who you really are.
Totally. Totally. And being comfortable in my skin, and really loving myself. That's been certainly a journey of like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing when things show up. We don't think that we don't love ourselves. Like, I mean, great, life's good. Da, da, da. And then we start to explore and we're on this journey and more reflection and giving space to those things that are maybe a little crunchy and not running from it and practicing those tools and leaning into the space of what is this. And it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like as I'm unpacking some of what this process has been for you, like it's like it sounds like you're becoming your best friend. Does that resonate for you?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I like that. And that's just the peace within has been such a beautiful gift that for a long time I definitely did not have. And there was a lot of unrest, and that's just like all dissipating. And so having the peace within, and that I don't have to torture myself. emotionally and physically, because I did a lot of physical torture to my body in this, and then realizing, wait, what are you doing? What are you creating? Is that something you want to continue? And I was like, no, actually, I don't. And I actually really having a moment of a couple of very dicey moments of, is this how you want to live the rest of your life? And it was not a comfortable conversation to have with myself at all. And I was like, no. Okay, so if this is not how you want your body to be physically with the pain and the things that were going on, then what are you going to do? What can you do? And then really having, like some people say, like a come to Jesus moment, right? Where it was a come to, like, okay, reality, it's reality time. It's staring you in the face. What are you going to do? You can continue running from it, or you can change it. So in the choice to make those changes and letting go of so many things I didn't even know I was holding on to, it has given me this beautiful sense of peace within myself, and the love that for a long time I was looking everywhere else for that love. And it's like, oh, it's actually here. So
Beautiful. And that gesture, like just, it's like,
yeah,
oh, it's here. Like
yeah,
it's right here.
yes,
I don't have to fly to a retreat. I don't have to go 100 million miles. I just have to be here.
it's here. Yeah, yeah. Mm. So it's been one heck of a journey to get to that point, that's for sure. It's not been an easy road. It's not for the faint of heart. And I'm so grateful for it all. Like,
Mhm. Well, there's beautiful elements of, those tools you bring into your life of gratitude and
yeah.
presence and embracing that which is, knowing you can change it with this reflective space that you're in, and coming into this place of really acknowledging you, everything you've been through, everything you've chosen or didn't choose,
Mhm.
and seeing the brilliance in your life. And it comes back to me just hearing your journey, and I mean, there's way more conversations to have, and I'm
Mhm.
really excited about your upcoming Be Your Brilliance membership and experience. You could share a light on that a little bit if you like. But as you're sharing, I just get this sense of those, like the more we practice this with ourselves,
Mhm.
the more brilliant we become, because we have more colors to now share. And it's okay to have dark shadow, and it's okay. I mean, it's like a
Yeah.
painting. You want, I mean, my gosh, you have these amazing landscape artists, and there's dark shadow and there's layers, and that makes us brilliant.
Mhm.
And we won't, like, our brilliance is deepened by the shadows that we are aware of, because then we're not standing in them, smothered by them.
Mhm.
We can allow light to move through all of it in a different way. And then the painting becomes even more brilliant, not just a dark black spot.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And that if you don't judge the shadows and the dark, and you actually embrace it, like it just gives such a different light and energy on it. And for a long time, I made it so wrong, and I wouldn't even want to deal with it, like, and it's, hey, like, what if it's all part of us, and what if none of it is wrong?
Mhm.
None of it is wrong. It's, yeah, and like Christine said, the beautiful analogy of the shadows. Beautiful.
Well, and thank you for sharing. I mean, as we've journeyed together, I've heard a little bit more about some of those shadows. And if people want to know more about
Mm.
your journey with body and your relationship with body and all of
Mhm.
that pain and no pain and da 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 da, they can reach out to you. So, how do
Yes.
people find you, Betsy? And
Yes.
tell us more.
Thank you. Well, they can email me at accessbetsy@gmail.com. I have a website, creatingyumminess.com. And feel free to reach out. We've got just in this beautiful journey of life, like what can we be for each other that is far greater, like, yes, I talked a lot about the introspective and the self, and also the gift of people that can contribute to you. And the combination has propelled me to, a new me, a new me that's excited about the world.
Yummy. And I know Be Your Brilliance is an experience coming up.
Mhm.
It's still, launching slowly out there in the
Mhm.
world. If people are curious just a little about Be Your Brilliance, what this program, this experience you're offering,
Mhm.
what is that? Just a little commercial.
Just a little teaser.
Little
So
teaser.
it's going to be an experience, a membership experience where we get together and we celebrate our brilliances. So there'll be a monthly Zoom, a private Facebook group where we can, or I'm sure there's going to be different exercises and things that we do. One of the things I was thinking about was, you know, an acknowledgement challenge, as I talked about at the beginning, where it's not an easy thing for me, and I think a lot of other people, because we are so taught to not talk about ourselves. So, like, let's do, a 5-day acknowledgement challenge in there, or whatever, and be that space for each other, like have a tribe of people who are looking for greater for themselves, and that we can see it in each other and nurture that. And so it's going to be that kind of space and celebrating. And then when we fall, we've got somewhere where we can like come in and go, ah, and I just be that. So I'm excited about it. It's been something that's been in my world for quite a while, and it's like now's the time for it, as I now see that I had some more journeying to go through myself to get to the place and the space where, yes, now's the time to launch it. So,
Mhm. And people, we're better together. And we all have
yes.
individual experiences. I have all my own little interesting quirks about brilliance and how I acknowledge myself and how I
Mhm.
celebrate all of me and my relationship to body and the skin that I'm in and the history of me and my body and my skin that I'm in. And, it's easy, I think, sometimes easier for us to dive in our own little world, but not share that
Yes.
the things that the ways that I'm growing and the ways that I'm learning and what wisdom I'm nurturing in my life. Um, these self-revelatory, self-awareness moments, sometimes we just keep them to ourselves. And that's what excites me about your Be Your Brilliance experience is it's a really beautiful, soft place to land. And we get to be together wherever we're at in our journey of brilliance, in how we acknowledge ourselves, how we relate with our bodies, and what works for us, what's not, and getting a chance to practice these tools that are working for you. And
Yes.
also lean into our own innate tools that maybe we didn't even know within us, but we can find here
Yeah.
because together we elevate everything. Everybody gets
Yes.
elevated.
So true. And I know this about myself. I love collaborating with people. I love it, and contributing to people. So it's, having that arena for all of us to get together and shine, collaborate, and contribute to each other. I am excited. Thank you for inviting me to chat about it a little bit. And yeah, it's like, I just wonder for all of us, I wonder how much more of our brilliance we can acknowledge.
Absolutely. And that for me might be my big takeaway here is that with acknowledgement, I give my brilliant space to surprise me. It might not have to be something I actually have to have effort to learn or strive for,
Yes.
but
Yes.
just that space of acknowledgement you're talking about shines a light on the brilliance that I already am.
Bingo.
Then I can access that resource.
Beautifully said. Yes, absolutely.
Well, Betsy, of course, with all of this, you have been creating yumminess. So thank you so much. Super grateful. And please drop a comment below. Let us know
Yes.
what rocked for you here. Any questions you have for Betsy, share them in the comments. We will come back to all of these and check out our show notes and you can learn a little bit more about how to find her. And can't wait for more. Thanks, Betsy.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Christine.
Well,